You got me running, you got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Raise your hands up, raise them out.
All right. Hi, everyone. And it is a big happy Friday as well from the team. And thanks again for joining us on the Daily Currency Call by Forex Trading Asia. And I hope everyone is having a good week so far in trading and outside of trading as well. And it is episode 402, and it's the 22nd of October already, pretty much the end of October. Now, if it is your first time here, a big welcome as well, and thanks for joining us, and a quick introduction as well. So this currency call is presented every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. GMT plus 8, and the currencies we analyze are as follows. Monday, we do the Aussie and Kiwi. Tuesday, the Euro. Wednesday, the Pound. Thursday, Yen and Gold. And then today, Friday, we do CAD and cryptocurrency, specifically Ethereum and Bitcoin. So this is the currency call where you'll get market economic updates, the key support and resistance levels, trade ideas, and much more. This currency call is going to be very beneficial to both the long-term investors and the short-term traders. And here we will go through what could move prices, the possible trade ideas associated with the price movements, and we'll also highlight the potential targets and risks. Importantly as well, a disclaimer. Any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. And feel free to ask questions as well from us, whether it is in this live trading call for the currency call or also outside it in the LCMS Traders Club as well. So just to kick things off to start, guys, I'll just touch upon the US dollar index, and it continues to be a bit of a talking point as well in the trading floor. We do have what seems to be a bit of a basis support that's been found again. So this is the 4-hour time frame. We saw the other night, it would have been Wednesday night, we did see it attempt to move lower through 93.50, 93.45 was the low that it caught, and we have seen a little bit of upside. It's just been interesting though to see how the currency pairs have been reacting to this as well. It's almost like the markets have gone to sleep a little bit this week with what has been continued to be discussed with the inflation issues that are facing especially the US with the supply shortages. And we've gone over this several times as well. But the US dollar is here, and it almost looked like it was going to move even lower, but then another surprise, and here we are. So I'll just go through the news that happened last night as well. And we did have a lot of activity in the trading floor as well, which is really good to see because there are some good opportunities that are always present as well. Just depends on how long you can be in the trade though as well. I'll just go to the Forex Trading Asia economic calendar here now, and I'll just have a look at what happened yesterday. So I did touch upon this as well in this morning's trade analysis that I did, and I did do a little bit of a video just highlighting really there wasn't a lot going on in the news, honestly. But what we did see was it was more of a technical day. And I know there are a few traders in the LCMS Traders Club that really purely like technicals. And it just seemed to be one of those things where the market was having a bit of a breather. And it was a little frustrating because the Aussie was looking like a good buy trade. And, if you're in and out, it's good. But again, you've got to make sure your risk management is sound. So just to quickly go through, we did have the Philadelphia Fed Index, manufacturing index come in slightly under. Not, again, a big price sensitive movement. We had existing home sales up a little bit, but it's one of those weeks really where it's going to be quite interesting to see for tonight. So this is GMT plus 8 time zone now. We've got for the US, we do have Jerome Powell speaking, the Federal Reserve Chair. He's speaking at 11 o'clock tonight. That's GMT +8 as a reminder. So that's going to be quite interesting. We have some CAD news as well. Won't discuss that. I'll save that for later on. Ginny's going to go through the CAD, which is looking quite interesting with oil, how it's behaving too. So just really that I would focus on tonight just to see how this US dollar wants to play out. I mean, if we go back to the charts here just quickly, it's been a tough one to pick, and it almost looks like it's run out of steam already, but it's early days to be calling that because we have the US session. We have equity markets still really quite strong, but end of the week always brings a lot of volatility. And one final point as well, as we see this US dollar at around 93.70, I'll just go to, I had this up before the call, and I've got it up on the 1 yearly time frame here. So we have a good idea of where we were at a year ago. We did have a high up at 1.75% in, I think that was both in late March and April. And I would just say be on the lookout for this. If we get back over 1.7% and then we roll into next week, it's almost like, some pressure has to be let out of the markets here. So, but be cautious with which way you're going with your trade thesis as well, and make sure that you have stop losses in place, risk management is sound as well, and ask questions in the Traders Club. But those are my views on the US dollar index. And frankly, I'd like to see it even come back down a bit and test 93.5. But now we do have Gim Hong now, currency strategist. He's just going to go through a trade idea on the CAD yen. So I'll hand it over to you now, Gim Hong.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Happy Friday, everyone. Yep. CAD yen is the trade idea that I'll be sharing today. So, spike in oil prices led by growing demand. Okay, so as you guys already know, recently oil prices, okay, have been rising like crazy. Okay, I think it's trading at for WTI is trading at I think $82 per barrel at the moment, and then for Brent it's definitely higher than that, like 85 or 86 per barrel. All right, so because of the the rise in oil prices, okay, as a result of the recent hurricanes that hit the Gulf of Mexico, all right, and because of the direct correlation, okay, between oil prices and Canadian dollar, all right, I was actually expecting the Canadian dollar to strengthen across the board, right, which is why brings me to this trade idea. Let me just show you the chart. Okay. So the trade idea was actually fired out end of September. Okay, end of September. And I think it was around, this period of time, September 28 or 29. And it actually got triggered on the 4th of October. All right. So I think the OPEC Plus meeting, okay, that was actually the following Monday from the day that I actually issued out this trade idea. So they decided to hold oil production unchanged. Okay, they decided to increase oil production at 400,000 barrels per day, okay, which is an agreed on deal, okay, few months ago, all right? So the market was actually hoping, okay, including several of the countries out there, that the OPEC Plus will actually increase more than 400,000 barrels per day, okay? But they did not, right? So with that, and the rising demand of oil globally, that actually led to, the strengthening of the oil prices, okay? Which actually gave the Canadian yen a boost, okay? Triggered my trade idea, and then it went up, all right? But, okay, now's the fun part. I decided, okay, to close at this level, 88.111, because it was a Friday. It was a non-farm Friday, okay, and the Canadian employment data was released on that day, okay. So let me look at the data. The expectation was that lesser than the previous. Okay, there's actually a lower than expected. Lower than previous number of jobs being added in Canada for September. Okay, that was the expectation. That was the initial expectation. It was actually some 59.5 thousand jobs. Okay, as opposed to the previous month of 90.2 thousand jobs. Okay, however, okay, the actual data release was way better than what was being expected. Okay, a total of 157,000 jobs were being added for the month of September. Okay, that is one thing. Now, the second key point is that this jobs report has actually sent the employment data, okay, employment numbers back to the pre-pandemic level, okay, even higher than the pre-pandemic level. Okay, what this tells us is that the number of jobs being lost during the during this whole period of pandemic, okay, has actually been recovered already. So that's actually a very good news, all right, which led to, as you can see over here, okay, by the way, this chart is based on a daily time frame, all right, so every candle is 1 day. So I'm going to shift this vertical red line over here. So as you can see, this super bullish candle over here, which is like 100 pips, okay, was actually a result of the strong Canadian jobs report, all right? So as you can see, I closed here and then it turns out to be way better than expected, right? And then you just go all the way up. It's a, I would say, unfortunate thing, all right? I mean, if I were to hold on, okay, on hindsight, if I were to hold on to this trade, it would have hit my TP. But then this is actually, I would say this is actually part of my risk management, all right? So if you guys are trading, when there's major economic data releases like the non-farm jobs report, or maybe the Canadian jobs report or CPI data, okay, or GDP data or monetary policy decisions, okay, you may want to, okay, be prepared for these releases, okay, because you have to decide way beforehand if you want to close your trade for profit or loss, okay, at that point in time, or to hold on, take more risk to actually get more profits, okay, or a chance to recover your losses, okay. So in this case, I choose to close because, the Canadian jobs report has always been high impact. It's just that this time around, the high impact is actually, along the same direction as my trade, okay. But if the jobs report were to release, some ugly figures, okay, it may very well, go back down and, turn my trade from profits to losses, all right? So yeah, I guess the key point here, is that we cannot always expect the data to be as forecasted, all right? As in this case, there was a forecast that the jobs report is going to perform poorer than back in August, but it turns out to be way better than expected, sending everything to pre-pandemic level, which is very, very positive, okay? So always, one good practice that I always do is that whenever there's a major upcoming news releases and things like that, I will always have a plan. Like, should I trail my stop loss? Should I close part of my, trades for a profit and trail the rest, or to risk the remaining half of my trades for potential profits? Or should I just close out my trade right away, just like this Cad yen? Okay, so if you guys are trading, just make sure that you guys have a plan before the release of the news or, whatever events, all right? Of course, there are times whereby, there are random events going on, like just early on this morning, Evergrande, there's a news on Evergrande that says that they have just managed to pay off the interest owed to bondholders, okay, that was due last month, but they were actually given 1 month of grace period, okay, that is supposed to be due tomorrow, 23rd of October, okay, and they have already paid off. So breaking news like this may actually cause big movements. Of course, we can't really be prepared for breaking news like this, right? Because it's random, it is out of nowhere, right? But, as traders ourselves, if we can do, we just have to do as much as we can, okay? I mean, scheduled data releases or monetary policy meetings, all these are being announced beforehand, so we can actually just prepare ourselves, in terms of trade management, all right? So with that, I've come to the end of my sharing. Okay, if you guys have any suggestions or want to know more about how we can actually the different ways, okay, the different ways whereby we can handle our trade management and things like that. Just post your questions in Ecofin, and we can take our discussion further from there. All right. With that, I'll hand it back to Scott.
Thank you for that, Kim Hong. And just a recap as well, we do have the article that Gim actually wrote for Forex Trading Asia. That's the top link at the start of the chat. Definitely, I would recommend checking that out, and make sure you register an account with Forex Trading Asia as well. I've got the link for the LCMS Traders Club. Click it, put your details in, get 30 days free. That's a definite no-brainer to do that. And also share the live currency call around as well on your social media. This is streaming live right now, and then subscribe to the YouTube channel. So just to head into the next segment, I'll just do a quick introduction. We've got Jindal Tai here. He'll be going through the Canadian dollar, and there is a little bit going on with that pair as well. And I have updated the background. So we have officially cracked 100% for the managed account service, nearly 20% for the year, and 2.88% for the month as well. So
broken
that's
the resistance, broken 100%.
we have broken the resistance.
Is it going to retrace, or is it going to scale up to the next level?
Next level. I'm not
Only way
biased.
to find out is to jump on board.
That's
To the moon,
right.
to the moon.
So over to you now, Jin, and I'll share the link now, guys, for Forex Briefcase.
Thanks for that, Scott. Sorry, I just had to jump in and interrupt you a little bit. It's actually funny that Scott was saying that there's a bit happening on the US CAD, and also fitting that Kim Hong was talking about oil production and prices, how it has retraced, or not really retraced, it's swung all the way back to the pre-pandemic levels, or even higher than that. So just sharing with you, looking at the news first, forextradingasia.com, economic calendar. If you haven't already, please go there, register an account, get in, read analysis on a daily basis, rate it, get some points, join the signals if you haven't already, but I'm pretty sure most of you have. Today being the Friday, we do have a lot of news, but we've spoken about the pound, we've spoken about the euro already. We do have tonight the CAD retail sales number looking like a big swing. This was not 2%. I'm pretty sure it was a different number before. So the forecast has changed quite a bit, from a minus 0.6% expected to be a 2%. The core retail sales from a minus 1% to a 2.8%. I think that we might see that being released, quite a good number for the Canadian retail sales numbers for both the core and the retail sales number. So anticipating some strength in the Canadian dollar here. But the main thing is that we're towards the end of the week. What could happen for the CAD next week, or what's lined up for the Canadians next week is nothing much on Monday nor Tuesday, but look at Wednesday. You can see that we have a lot of news next week, so make sure you tune in for next week's trading. Late Wednesday night, GMT +8 at 10 p.m. we do have the Bank of Canada's interest rate decision. At this point, they are anticipating to hold rates at a 0.25%, same like previous, but there might even be talk about a rate increase, possibly not at this decision level, but into the near future, and also possibly some monetary policy action taken on the stimulus. So accompanying this rate decision, there will be a rate statement and also a press conference later into the night. So anticipating the reduction of, or the tapering of stimulus from the 2 billion to the 1 billion mark, possibly. If we do see any talk about rate increase or a tapering in the stimulus, possibly again going to see that strength in the Canadian dollar. At this point, I'll do a quick question and go, Kim Hong, what do you think? Are they going to increase rates, or are they going to taper? Or are they going to do both, or nothing at all? What do you think?
Personally, I think they may actually taper, all right, because there's been many speculations that they will at least taper one more time, okay, for the rest of 2021, okay, and like I've mentioned earlier, employment data has already hit above pre-pandemic level, and let's hope that the retail sales, okay, will be good as well, all right, and the COVID cases in Canada has been well contained, okay, so there is a possibility that the Bank of Canada will actually carry out another round of tapering by 1 billion Canadian dollars per week. But yeah, join back the call and I'll let you guys know more about it.
But would you rule out a chance of a rate increase?
Rate increase? Yes, I will rule out a chance of rate increase. Not at the moment yet.
What about commentaries about a rate increase?
Okay, that's tricky.
I do ask.
That's really tricky. Okay, I think unlikely that they are going to say much about make any comments on rate increase. It's probably going to be the case that you're just going to say, oh, we'll finish tapering our current QE, okay, before we'll be looking at a rate increase, just like some of the other major central banks, okay, like the Federal Reserve as well. Yeah, so unlikely they're going to provide much clues, many clues on this whole rate increase, but tapering, we can look forward to one.
You've heard it here first during the currency call. What I would actually, I'm a little bit more positive. I think that if we do see a good retail sales number tonight, tonight, and also we don't see any further shocks to the market, what I think might happen, we might actually see some commentary about or forward guidance. Central bankers like to use the word forward guidance into possible rate increases. So, or a rough timeline of what could happen. In my view, I don't think they will fully finish or complete tapering before they do a rate increase. So I think what they might do is a taper at this decision point, and then after that also talk about a rate increase. Possible, a little bit more positive in this view, but with that in mind, with that positivity in mind, what could happen here on the US CAD? I'm looking at it on the H4 time frame. It is now sitting at the 1.2346 level. The last time we spoke about it, I said it was likely to test that 1.2273. It took a long time. It took all the way to this week before it got to that point. With that, I think that there's no trades to do right now. Only later tonight, when we see if we see a good number on the retail sales, look for it to break that 1.2273 before looking to sell. Alternatively, is if it breaks, or when it breaks, we look into next week for it to head lower. So I think this will be a long-term trade, a medium-term trade where we're trading tonight and into next week, where we're looking for further downside on the US CAD, driven by the strength in the Canadian dollar rather than, in addition to the weakness on the US dollar. Okay, so in terms of trade ideas or trade opportunity, what I'll be looking for is for it to break 1.2273 at about a 1.2250, a 50 pip stop loss for a good 100 or 200, even 200 pip take profit level. You're looking at a 1:4 risk reward ratio towards the downside. But as I've been repeating over the weeks already, what you would notice is that looking at it on the daily time frame, the last time we got to this level, this 1.2055 level, is back early this year in May. So the likelihood for it to come down, break that point is there. For it to drop all the way down to that point is there. It's not that far away, but anticipate a lot of volatility. You can see here, coming towards this support level, we've seen it bounce quite a bit. I think that for it to break and hit there, it won't be a straight line event, but it could come down, test this level before bouncing strongly back up again. So with that, I think quite a simple view on the US CAD heading towards the downside, with driven by the retail sales number possibly going to be quite good, and also possibly some hawkishness from the Bank of Canada mid next week. As I was scrolling through the news, I hope you found or saw that we do have a lot of news next week. So, as we are towards the end of the week, don't try to rush too many trades out today. I think if the market doesn't show any real directions, then save the ammo, look into next week for more trading opportunities. With that, I'll pass it back to you, Scott.
Okay, thank you for that, Jin, as well. And I have just posted that in the EchoFin group as well. So good question, Imran, perfect timing. Now, also, it is Friday, so I'll just bring up, we do have crypto scheduled as well. So I'm just going to bring up, we've got the Bitcoin against the US dollar chart here with Sam Trade. And as you can see, we did get, depending on which broker you use as well, there was a very dramatic wick down that was on Binance. So a good reminder, everyone, if you do trade crypto actively, and we don't personally, but you've just got to be cautious in regards to how much liquidity the broker has, and just being aware that some big sell orders could come in, and if that's the case, you can see some very big movements to the downside very quickly, and you can take the stop out and be quite unhappy about that. But if you are fresh, just looking at this with no positions, or you're adding to a longer term position, bring up the daily chart. Now, my resistance level here is at the close to 63,600, and we did actually see on the weekly a break of the all-time high as well. And just looking at how this has been playing out, the thing with crypto is that it is very volatile, but if you go to the 4 hour, it definitely seems to be quite happy, well over 60,000. And I would say that on the hourly, just an intraday perspective now, we're just really going to have to see what it does up here, which, is quite close now. We've got, around, a few hundred more to go, not even around 100 pips to go, just to see how we react here. And we have seen some resistance previously when it was back above here. We're going to go back to the weekly actually to see this. So it's sort of uncharted territory right now. We do have institutional funds really flowing into Bitcoin as well with that ETF that was released this week. So that's something to pay attention to. But you definitely just don't want to be scaling in with big size compared to your account right here, because typically what happens is that it will pull back, and where it does pull back is a good question. At least 60,000 you want to see, but from a shorter term perspective, there's upside still there, and we have had that move lower. And now if we get through 63,600, we could see a couple more 100 pips, even more to the upside, back to 65. So I would say tentatively approach this, but a more conservative way to deal with this would be to probably wait and just to see if it does reject. I'm not encouraging selling, especially because it's just so volatile, but wait till you get a bit more stability. I mean, it's tough to say get back down to the low 50,000s, but it's just, I'd like to see how this weekend plays out as well, just with everything that has been going on in the markets, and then come in fresh on Monday. But more upside is definitely there. It's just now getting through this sticking point that we've got up here. Now, Ethereum is interesting as well. So that made an all-time high too. We go to the weekly. Pretty much it did, yeah. I'm very close to it. So what I would say is the same premise here with, this is a bit easier now because it's above that 4,000 level. So it actually has reacted and we're seeing it move higher. And I would just say, if you are aggressive, an entry around now is okay, but just probably pause and just let it settle into the US session because there is a lot of trading, especially over the weekend. So that would be how I would play it, and be careful with your position sizing as well, depending on who you're using and what leverage you're using. So be mindful of that, and don't get too greedy in regards to just throwing everything at this, because it is very extended and you've just got to be mindful of that as well. But that's my thoughts on crypto. I just quickly want to, the link that I've shown as well, shared for the Forex briefcase, click that, leave your details. And also I've got the website. So if you click the link for the LCMS Traders Club, come down, we've got the 30-day trial still going. Click that, fill your details in, and then you get access to the EchoFin group as well. Really been a lot of good quality cooperation recently in the club. I'll just share that quickly as well. And it's just something that if you are really looking to get a bit more clarity from, all this information that's out there, it's really, a focused group that we're looking to get better at trading. Instead of just talking about one specific area, we're quite diverse in our thoughts on the markets as well, and friendly and happy to help as well. But that's it there, guys. 30 days free, and that is it for the Friday call as well. And I'll make sure I update a little bit more for the cryptocurrency in the trading floor as well, guys. But that's it. I hope everyone had a good week as well, and thanks so much for watching this week, and hope to see everyone back for Monday.